Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about eyeshadow palettes, and today I thought it would be fun to share my top 5 eyeshadow palettes from 2020. So 2020 was a weird year for eyeshadow to me. Like, I still bought eyeshadow palettes because, like, let's be honest, I have a problem with them. I've been much better recently after my no buy. I feel like I've gained some really good knowledge and some good skills on how to say no to them. But I feel like 2020 was really the year of singles for me. So when I went to go like pick out my favorite palettes, I was kind of like I love you, but like I've loved my singles more, and I've loved my singles palettes that I've created more. I've done quite a few of them on my channel, so I can link the most recent one I've done down below if that sounds like something you would like to see me kind of put together, swatch out, talk about a little bit. But I did manage to pick out 5, and I have a type. You guys will see. Not all of these launched in 2020. Most of them did though, which is kind of weird because I feel like usually my favorites end up being ones that like I've fallen in love with that have already been in my stash. So that's interesting. But without further ado, let's hop into it. So I'm not really ranking these palettes. I'm just saying like these are my favorites from the year. So the first one is the Tiny Marvels palette from Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson. You guys, I have raved about this palette for months and months and months ever since I got it. I just love the color story. You guys know Sydney Grace's shadow formula, out of this world. So easy to work with, one of my absolute favorites. But this color story is so much fun. You might be looking at it and be like, is that A, cohesive, B, anything special? And to that I say yes. When I got this palette, I was super excited about it, and I thought the color story was so pretty, but I wasn't aware of how cohesive it would be until I got it home. I feel like I look at some of these shadows and like, I don't know if I would pair those together, but then I paired them together and it always comes out beautiful. Like, I don't think I've had a bad look come out of this palette. Mel did such a great job curating this color story, and of course, like, the formula is just chef's kiss. It's absolutely beautiful. I really love the packaging as well. I love that it's like the thin cardboard versus like the tin that their Enduring Love palette is in. This is much chunkier, and it almost feels a little cheap, but I think the Enduring Love palette is now in cardboard packaging like this, so that's really exciting. And of course I love Mel. I'm not like a huge follower of hers, and I don't watch every single video, but like occasionally she'll do some really cool videos, and I always love her personality. She just seems so like genuine and just like joyful and happy, and someone I would love to be around. So huge congrats to her on this palette, and it's been one of my favorites. Okay, I feel like this next one is slightly cheating because like I've only had this palette for a couple months. Not even a couple months. I've had it for like 1 month. But the At Foresight palette from Raw Beauty Kristi and ColourPop. You guys, this is like my grungy rainbow dream. Like, okay, granted I wish I had a couple more shimmers, but that's what the Super Shock shadows are for. But I just love it. I love it so much. I haven't had any formula issues with this palette. It's just really pretty. I've done a palette bingo on my channel with this palette, as well as a Get Ready With Me, so I can link those down below if you guys are interested in seeing this palette in action. But I just love it. I can't lie. I feel like it looks like I haven't touched it, but I swear I have, and I've really enjoyed the looks that I've created with it. I feel like this palette would win based on packaging alone. Like, how beautiful is this? Like, it just makes me want to grab my camper, hook it up, and drive all the way to Oregon. I mean, I'm sure that's not what, or no, does she live in Oregon or Washington? Now I can't remember. I feel like it might be Oregon or Washington. I just like want to pack up my life, get in my camper, and head there, you know, and like live in the woods and in nature. It's so pretty. I am just like so happy with this palette. Okay, next up, you guys, we have one that kind of snuck up on me because I feel like last year when I got it, I wasn't in love, and that is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I used this so much this year, mostly in the summertime. I just feel like these tones are really vibrant and like warm, and they just look really pretty with like bronzed glowy skin, and I'm just in love with it. I still don't think Natasha Denona's formula is like worth the hype that it gets. I just feel like it's kind of overhyped. It's really overpriced. There are many indie formulas that are, I feel like, just as good, if not better, for the same price. I actually did a whole video on indie shadows that I think are better than Natasha Denona. I'll link that one down below as well. But I did truly enjoy this palette. It's a really fun, warm, neutral palette. I feel like even though it's got like that pop of pink and some yellows, those are like warm neutrals at this point, right? I just feel really beautiful every single time I wear this palette. I think the tones are so flattering. I'm just a fan. I can't lie. I was a bit surprised when I was compiling these palettes for this video, and I decided to include this one. This one is the e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette. and I totally bought this one on a whim. It was 110% an impulse buy, but I have just really fallen in love with this palette, you guys. e.l.f.'s formula is not my favorite, so I'm not really raving about the formula in this one, but it's so easy to use. Like, these mattes blend effortlessly, they go on really sheer, but they're easy to build up. The shimmers are pretty, but they're not like crazy impactful. They're almost a little bit thin, which you can pack them over glitter glue and that helps a little bit, but I just really loved how easy to use this palette was. I created so many looks like end of summer, beginning to fall that were just so like effortless and easy, and I felt really good in that I just had to include this one. And finally, we have a palette that I wasn't sure I was even gonna buy, but that is the Sigma Corderosa palette. You guys, this was totally a FOMO purchase. Everyone was like, this palette is so good, and I was like, it's warm neutrals, I already have it, but then I caved. It was on sale and I caved. And I have not been let down, you guys. I've really enjoyed Sigma's shadow formula. I really love the super foiled shimmers in this palette. The mattes are really easy to work with. The color story is so cohesive that I'm pretty sure I could throw like darts at this palette, even though I would never do that because that would break the eyeshadows, but like I could throw darts at this palette or like a picture of this palette on the wall and pick shades, and my look would be cohesive and beautiful and just come together so nicely. I feel like that was a big theme for me in 2020, like easy eyeshadow. I don't really know why, because like it wasn't like I was running around like a crazy person like doing things. I was at home all the time, but like easy, effortless. That's where I'm at with this palette. That's what I love so much about it, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. It's a beautiful palette. It got a lot of hype for a reason. But I think that's gonna wrap up today's video, you guys. I feel like that was crazy short, but I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to let me know down below what your top 5 palettes were for 2020, or if you had more. Were you more so into singles this year than palettes? I would love to know. I thought about doing for a second like my top 10 singles of 2020, but I feel like that would be too hard. I just have so many in my collection that I really truly love, and I did a video similar to that a couple of months ago in collaboration with Amy Loves Makeup, so I can link that down below if you guys are interested in just kind of my favorite singles floating around in my collection. But that is all for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!